Howdy everybody, it's Amy from Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting. How are you doing this evening? It is Monday, Labor Day evening, late evening, and it's raining pretty good out there today. It's been raining all day, and we even have some flood warnings going on just north of here, which we don't want to see any damage from floods, but we do need the water in our reservoirs, so it's a pretty good thing, as long as you're not driving around in it. But anyway, I have a product review package here for you all today, and this is from a company I've not reviewed before, brand new company, and this is a cross-stitch review. So if you're into diamond painting but not cross-stitch, this may not be for you, but if you're curious, if you've never tried cross-stitch, this may be worth a look as well, because it is very close to diamond painting. So take a look and see what you think. So this is from the company called Artcreatlove, and it is spelled C-R-E-A-T for create. They don't have the E at the end on their website, but since this is a new company that I'm showing, I thought I'd do a quick look. Oh, there's our radar. My ring light is causing a little bit of a reflection there, but yeah, it's raining pretty hard all over San Angelo and northward. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the website. So this is Artcreatlove. This is their website. They have various sales continuously going on. You can kind of see the banners here: buy 4 get 1 free, as well as free shipping, tax-free at over 59 pounds, converted of course to US dollars. I'm going to turn this ring light a little bit and see if I can adjust it so it's maybe not quite so much in the way. Well, I'll just adjust me here and that'll work. So Artcreatlove is a cross-stitch company, but they're a premium cross-stitch company, so they really only carry the big name brands. So we have Spring, Joy Sunday, Mona Lisa, and they do stamped and counted cross-stitch. They do have some other crafts here listed, but they're cross-stitch related crafts like pillows. Here a lot of pillowcases, and these pillowcases are like pre-made with the zipper and everything, so all you do is the cross stitching and then stick the pillow form inside. So that's their crafts. They also have a lot of accessories, which I thought was interesting to see. Let me get you where you're more in the frame. Sorry about that. So we have needle cases, scissors. These look interesting. These are clamps. 360-degree rotation clamp on desk stand for camera or tripod. And we have clamps for canvases. This is actually a pin cushion. Lots of good needles and clips to hold your canvas if you roll them up and work in your hand. All sorts of cover minders, the little magnets that hold your needles, all sorts of goodies there. But they also have a lot of really nice cross-stitch kits, because again, these are the bigger brands, not the really budget friendly, although cross stitch overall is pretty budget friendly. So I have placed an order for that guy because can't resist. We got cactus and a gnome there with the knitted hat, so I have placed an order for that one. This one looks really interesting. This is a Spring brand, which is one of my favorite brands, and this is a large one. Most of them are pretty large, comes in a fancy box. This would be a good Christmas gift for a cross stitcher. It's got several beads that go with that kit and really big canvas. So there's the different colors of beads. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 colors of beads there. So we'll see how that looks. But Mona Lisa is the brand that usually has a lot of really big ones, and they are the brand that does the silk threads, or silky threads I should say. They're not real silk, but they are very shiny and very silky. So that's Mona Lisa. And then we have Joy Sunday, which a lot of these are a little bit smaller, and they have a lot of 14 count, or the higher thread counts, 14 and 16 count. I tend to lean toward the 11 count most of the time, but I will occasionally get a 14 count if that's all that's available. But they have more what I would call traditional cross stitch patterns instead of AI art or digital art that's turned into cross stitch, like the tapestries. These are more like true cross stitch patterns that we've been used to in the past. So that's Joy Sunday. And then spring has a lot of really big ones and more tapestry types, and they do a lot of 11 count. So here's another one of the gnomes. There's a whole series of these gnomes that are really cute. So this is, again, the company Artcreatlove, and I will put a link to everything down below. But let's get into the package and see what I have here. So this is going to be a cross-stitch kit. It came to me, pretty close to 2 weeks from the time that I got notification that they sent it. And it comes, as usual, in one of these plastic baggies. And I have not had to open this to peek at what's inside, so I haven't looked at it yet. Because since I only have a couple companies that send me cross stitch, I was quite sure which one this was. So I didn't have to break it open like I do for a lot of the diamond paintings and peek inside to see which company. So here we go. This is the one I picked. What they did for me is they sent me a link to their spring brand cross stitches and told me to just pick one. And they didn't give me any limits or anything, but I didn't want to get carried away, and I only have so much time. So I picked a pretty reasonable size here, and this is in the green. We've got the SKU number sticker here on the outside, but this is in the green packaging, which is indicative of 14 count. And the better floss, the Egyptian floss, instead of the ecology cotton floss, which usually comes with 11 count. So I believe, but sometimes I've been fooled by the green being something else. So we'll take a look inside. But first off, there is the picture. It is a beautiful mountain scene. I picked this one because I figured there will be a lot of half cross stitch for the background to make it kind of soft and watercolor like, which half cross stitch you only do, well, as it sounds, half the stitch, but it goes a lot faster that way, so that we do have time to at least work on it a little bit, because I do like to do a little bit of my PR packages, but this is spring brand cross stitch, so it's pretty reliable. I haven't run into any troubles with any of the spring brand that I've done here. So this comes in its own little project package here with a little button closure that you can snap closed, which means you don't have to have a project bag for this one. It comes in its own project bag, which is nice. So inside we have our floss cards, and we have our fabric and the instructions. So we'll start with the instructions here. You get, it's the same on both sides, but it'll give you some basic introduction or instructions on how to do cross stitch. I may turn my light back around since I'm not doing anything with a whole lot of glare right now. So we have the instruction sheet, which this is a stamped cross stitch, which means the design is stamped on the fabric in washable ink. And this has the washing instructions for when you are done with the cross stitch, then you wash the fabric to wash out all that ink, and you're left with a plain white canvas. So there's all the instructions. Then we have the pattern here, which is actually printed on the back of the cover here. Some are, some aren't. Some have separate, depends on how big the pattern is. But since this one isn't too big, there's the top half and there's the bottom part. So it shows here, if they did have to break up the pattern into a few pages here, you'll see they'll have them all numbered, and so it'll show the little page number there. So this is section 3, which is right here, and this is section 4, which is right down here, and then 1 and 2 are in here. So not too big of a pattern. And we can look at what we have in here, starting with the full stitch. It looks like we have 35 different colors in full cross stitch. And nope, let me put my glasses on. It would help if I could actually see. That's better. I was trying to get away without wearing my cheater glasses. but we actually have 48 colors. I thought maybe this was half stitch, but this is also full stitch. So this column kind of goes on to here. So we have 48 different colors of full cross stitch. And then here is the half stitch. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 colors of half stitch, which is kind of what I figured for the background. That's what all of this is back here. So this should stitch up pretty quickly with that many different colors of half stitch for the background. And then for back stitch, we do have 3 different colors of back stitch. And just looking at the chart here, you can see the back stitch. Oop, my pupper's arguing about a rawhide toy. But you can see that the back stitch here is along the edges of the mountains to highlight them here. So a fair amount of back stitch, because it looks like also in the trees there's some in there as well. Trying to avoid some of the glare. And then down here at the bottom also some of the trees have back stitch. Now I enjoy doing back stitch because I like to see the image come to life, and that to me is the fun of doing back stitch. You wait till the end when you have all the cross stitch done, and then you kind of lay the back stitch over the top of the other stitches, and it really makes the design come to life. So you can kind of see the outlining there if you look at the picture. So that's where a lot of the back stitch will be. Let's see. Another thing I like about spring patterns these days is you have the symbol that's also on the canvas, which makes it easier to see. They actually match in this case. They don't always, but it does make it easier when you can compare and see what the symbol looks like on this chart as well as on your fabric. So the fabric does come in a plastic bag so that if for whatever reason the packaging that you have gets in contact with water, this should protect the package or at least the fabric from getting wet. So even if the rest of the package gets a little bit wet, your fabric should be okay as long as this doesn't leak. But I do like that it is sealed like that. And we'll look at that in a minute. But first, let's look at the floss cards here. So this does not feel like the Egyptian cotton, which is fine with me because I actually prefer using the ecology cotton, as they call it, because it's a little bit softer. The Egyptian cotton is treated, so it's a little bit stiffer and thinner, it seems. And then as you wash it, of course, at the end, then some of that sizing or starch or whatever they put on that floss should come off and make it more fuzzy. But I prefer actually stitching with these with the ecology cotton because it is a little bit thicker feeling and it just looks like it does better coverage to me as I'm stitching along, which makes me happy to cover up all those weird colors on the canvas. So I do prefer it. But let's look at these colors here. You can tell those pretty mountain sunset or sunrise colors coming through here with all the pinks and the grays and the purples. And a lot of these colors, it looks like more for the trees and the ground. We have some of this dark green that's probably the pine trees, and then a lot of the browns for the ground. So spring doesn't come with a toolkit, but it does come with a couple really nice needles. A lot of people say the spring needles are the best, and they are usually stuck in a little baggie on your floss card. So this is colors 1 through 30 right here, and they do feel really soft. And then on the second card, we have color 31 through 54. So definitely more than 50 colors, which is a really good way to tell whether an image is going to come out very well or not. So you want at least 40 to 50 colors, if not more, if you can get it. The more colors, the better. And Spring brand usually has the right number of colors. It's a brand's more like DIY or Huacon or Yishu's getting better. I've had a Yishu kit that came with 50 colors, so some of those are getting better. But Spring Brand is one of the premium Chinese cross-stitch companies that comes with a lot of colors and a lot of these really big canvases. So here's 31 through 54, more the ground colors, the trees and the ground here, and then more of the pinks and really light blues for the sky in here as well. And there's some yellows. So let's try to look at all of the colors here together. I kind of twisted this first one when I set it down here. We'll see if we can get this to work. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to get all of the colors to really show through. Can sometimes twist it a little bit to get all the colors in there to get a good feel for what you've got to work with. Finally, let's open up and look at the canvas, and this is definitely, even though it has the green packaging, it doesn't have the leaves on here. So this is definitely ecology cotton, because as you can see here, if you can, we'll open it up and look, but this is 11 count, which is what I picked. Sometimes I don't always notice, and if it's not available in 11 count, I will get the 14, but this is 11 count. So we'll see, this will be bigger, of course, than a 14 count canvas, because 14 count means 14 squares per inch, and 11 count is 11 squares per inch. Diamond painting usually runs pretty close to 10 squares per inch, so this would be about the same size as a diamond painting with this image. Of course, you can't do this particular one in diamond painting because of the half stitch. The half stitch is meant to be more subtle and kind of blend into the background a little bit more. So there is no such thing as half diamonds in diamond painting. So some things just don't quite translate. But let's take a look here. This canvas doesn't look too big. It looks definitely like something I can handle here, but of course I can handle them, but in a little less time than some of the others that I've picked up. So you can see here large blocky areas of color there for the half stitching. That should make it go really quick, just going row by row through here. It looks like a couple of dots here of ink, but I'm not sure. Those may actually be on purpose. Let me look again at the image. That's what those dots of color are. They're the birds. So yes, these 3 dots are supposed to be there. It's just that this is a solid green mixed in there amongst the partial green there. So these are the little birds, and there's a bird wing, and there's another bird. So those are supposed to be there. Those are not speckles. And what I also like is for larger areas, you just have the number right there, so you don't even have to refer to the chart to try to figure out exactly what color that is. So when you have larger areas of the same color, they'll just put the number on there to help you out. So even down here at the bottom, where you have all the plants and the rocks, I don't see any of what we would call confetti, which confetti for cross stitch is pretty much the same idea as confetti for diamond painting, but with cross stitch you have to start and stop the thread, whereas diamond painting you just switch out colors. It's actually much faster to diamond paint, but it does look like these small areas, they're all kind of close to each other. So I could take this color here and kind of work these few and then just move across to do these and these and these. So it's not really what I would call confetti. Confetti to me would be, well, actually I don't see any, which is good. Confetti to me would be just doing 1 to 5 stitches in one color and then having to end it because there's nothing else nearby in that color. So that can take a long time with cross stitch because you're having to change out the floss and the needle, or you could just, if you're really spending a lot of time doing cross stitching and you do it quite frequently, you can fill up several needles with your floss ahead of time and just have them ready to go and attach to the fabric, and then you can just kind of work. Once you finish one, you just grab another and go. So that can sometimes speed up your stitching. It's called parking threads. So I might show that in another tutorial video at some point, how to park your threads when you have a little bit more complicated area. So this looks really nice and really easy to do, and I'm curious how long we've gone here because I only have one here from the company, and this again is the company Artcreatlove, and I will have the links down below, and you don't have to worry about making a mistake in purchasing a canvas that probably isn't going to work out too well because they only sell the premium cross stitches. And I didn't get a price. I forgot to look at the price on this one, so maybe I can bring it up here real quick. Let's see if I can find that one. Spring brand. I thought it was, there it is. Yeah, so this canvas, or this this cross stitch is here, and it is 45 by 56 centimeters with back stitch. Oh, and that's another thing, it does tell you the floss type there. I should have probably looked at the description before I started this video. So it does have the eco-friendly instead of the Egyptian cotton. Shows 11 count there, but usually they'll also tell you the number of colors if they can on a lot of these. So this one didn't say the number of colors, but it does let you know that there is back stitch involved on this one. Some of these, like this one that have the higher, even higher color count, will tell. Like this one says 65 colors. There, here's 54 colors, 64 colors. Oh, there it is. 89 colors. So these little gnomes, my light ring, it's probably going to drive you guys nuts. There we go. So this one, these dwarves have a lot of colors, so that one's 89 colors. But this one, it doesn't say the number of colors, but now we know it is 54 colors. So quite a few for that one. Here, this one, 90 colors. $45, but this is a pretty affordable one there at $17 regular price, but of course with the sales going on, you can get them much cheaper, especially if you buy 5 with the buy 4 get 1 free. So Spring brand will have some pretty high prices in general because they are larger, but here's a couple smaller ones, 35 by 35 centimeters, 33 by 33, those are $9 to $10 there. So this one, the succulent dwarf, 90 colors, and the cherry dwarf, 86 colors, but those usually run in the upper 20s, $27, $28. So not too bad. They're actually a little bit cheaper, I think, than diamond painting, but they do take a little more time. But I enjoy kind of sitting at the couch and working on these when I don't feel like sitting at my diamond painting table. So it's a little more relaxed TV watching type stitching. So I'm going to do a little work on this and give you an update probably in a couple weeks, maybe later on in the month, because this does take a little bit longer than diamond painting. So I'm not going to like turn the camera off, finish this, and then come back and finish this video. You can't quite do that with these the way I can with some of the smaller diamond paintings. So I'm really happy how this looks. This is nice, thick fabric here. The fabric is usually treated with starch, so it feels very stiff at first, but you can kind of crunch it and work with it to make it softer. And I usually work in my hand, so what I do a lot of times is I will roll the canvas like this and then hold it in one hand and stitch in the other. Now I could use a hoop or a small frame, but I find those kind of heavy, whereas this method, this isn't very heavy. And if I wanted to, what I could do instead is turn it sideways and roll it and work sideways. So it just depends on what's more comfortable. For the bigger canvases, I just lay them across my lap and start in the bottom corner and just start going. This one I'm not sure because of all the half cross stitch. I may go for the top so that I have something to show you in a week or two to to show you how it's going, and the top will go much faster than the bottom. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Should I start at the bottom and get some of these trees done so that you can see that, or would you rather see the top done? I mean, eventually I'll get it all, but it does take a little while. So let me know what you think here. I think this looks really cool, and I love the colors. And that's what I have for you from Artcreatlove, and I will leave the links down below. Check them out if you're looking for some ideas for some really good cross-stitch kits, and I will see you next time.